So like if you see
And
here... Hey guys, what's up? Today
are you going to introduce your wife?
Okay, my wife is filming today. This is great news. I have someone to film me, so I don't have to be awkward and sitting in one spot. And
the neighbors judging him.
Well, they're gonna judge me
by.
anyways because my car looks like it gets like literally someone stole my shit.
His shit.
So today we're gonna talk about what size lift you can run with the biggest size tire without cutting fenders. So obviously I have aftermarket fenders, so it's a little different on clearance for me, but this is my 8th or 9th Cherokee, and I've had every lift kit from 5.5 inches down to 2.5 inches. So really was thinking that if I can go over and maybe give you guys some information on like what the biggest size tire you can run with which lift and what pairs the best without cutting fenders. So let's start off with the 3-inch lift. So that is your typical rough country lift kit. That's what most people run. With a 3-inch lift kit, a 31-inch tire, hands down, that is as big as you want to run. I wouldn't go any bigger. You probably could, but it would be really tight and you're gonna have to cut some stuff out. So 31-inch tire, definitely for 3-inch lift. So 4.5-inch lift. Let's talk about that. So with a 4.5-inch lift with stock fenders, 33 by 12.5 is as big as you can run on a 4.5-inch lift without having issues with rubbing. So that answers that question. Next, we have a 5.5-inch lift kit which can run a 35-inch tire without having rubbing issues. You're still now keep in mind on all these lift kits, the stock fender wells on these are extremely small. So the bigger the tire, when that starts to tuck up, it's going to start hitting the sides before it hits the top. So when regardless of lift kit and size or anything like that, you're always going to have to worry about these fender wells with the original ones because they're just not super big. These are small SUVs. They weren't meant to have super huge tires on them. So that's what you run into. Now on all of these lifts, you can clear these sizes, but you're still going to be pretty tight when you start to tuck in and start to flex. But as far as turning goes and hitting bumps, you should have no issues with rubbing at all. So that's running stock fender flares. Those are going to be the 3 options you have. I have ran 32s on a 3.5-inch lift, but it was pretty snug. I was on a Rubicon Express lift kit with 33s, and I had to actually hammer in some of the seams on the inside to fully clear it. But
all right, why don't you tell them some good options if they don't want to run their stock flares?
So yeah, that's good. Obviously, I run Notch Custom X-Max flares. These actually give you the most added clearance on any fender flares on the market. And the reason I went with those is because I really want to maintain a good drivability, and I want this thing to be roadworthy. So I wanted to keep the lowest center of gravity possible in running the biggest tire possible with the I would say the most mid-sized lift kit possible. So right now I'm on a 4.5-inch lift, and I was running 35s. I had more than enough clearance with these flares. You actually gain about 3 inches of clearance with these width-wise and about 2 inches from the top. So that's going to give you like a huge amount of clearance. So, and then in the back, you can kind of tell, but I don't have this fully finished. You can kind of tell this is an extra about 1.5 inches. Now I did have bushwhackers, so this was from the bushwhacker flares. So you're talking it was about here, so about 3 inches all the way around in the rear, which is incredible for a Cherokee. I'm actually going to be running 37s on a 4.5-inch lift, or I'm going to try to. I'm hoping that I'll gain about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch lift from the truss kits when I swap. So these are amazing options. You can run a lot bigger tires. I'm pretty sure they said on a 3-inch lift you can run 33s. I ran on bushwhackers, which bushwhackers is another great option. I was running my 35s with the bushwhacker flat flares, and you gain about 1.5 inches to 2 inches on that. Those are great options as well. So I ran 35s on that. I didn't have a whole lot of travel, but it didn't rub at all, and I did have clearance, and it was doable. So you can run 35s on a 3.5-inch lift with bushwhackers or notch flares. It's definitely doable. So those are some good options for that. That's definitely something I would keep into consideration. You really want to keep that low center of gravity to maintain the drivability, because once you start getting super high, it's just going to drive awful. It's going to be so difficult to get it right. So, all right, guys, I hope that was super helpful. If you have any questions, just leave me some comments below. I would be glad to answer any questions and help you all out. And other than that, the axle swap's going great. Everything's going in place, and we're moving forward. Like always, please like and subscribe, and I really appreciate you guys supporting me, and stay tuned for the next video.
And let us know if you're interested in any story time videos, because believe it or not, this guy has ruined a whole lot of these.
Okay, so I'll put a picture and I burned
put me through the ringer with
so
all of these.
I've had a lot of crazy stories with Jeeps. So I burned one totally to the ground.
Hold your hands longer than mine?
Okay, yeah. So I burned a Jeep like 100% to the ground. So let me know if you're interested in hearing that story, because it's really funny.
Or if you guys just want like how-tos.
And then also this Jeep, actually, like as awesome as this Jeep's been, this Jeep has been an absolute pain in my ass and her ass. And it was like a 5-month deal figuring this thing out, but now that it's done, it's great. It's been awesome, but this Jeep was a story in itself. But anyways, other than that, let me know if you're interested. I would love to do a story time. The weather obviously is garbage lately, so maybe I can do a story time inside and kind of give you guys some fun stories with Jeeping. So anyways, thank you all. Have a great night.
Like and subscribe.